Welcome to Navajo County Connection. I'm Dawnafae Whitesinger, County Supervisor for District 5, and it's a pleasure to be here with you today. Today we'll be talking about weather conditions and preparedness and roadways and what is that going to look like in the summer, in the ski season or the winter season. And we hope, of course, that these conversations get to come to fruition because we know how important snow is to our economy. And who doesn't love a snow day, right?
That's right.
So,
Absolutely.
Today I have two great guests with me, Mary Springler. She's been here before with us, and I just want to give her a chance to introduce herself and some of the things that she does for the county.
Thank you, Dawnafae. Like you said, my name is Mary Springer. I'm the Emergency Management Director for Navajo County. And this time of year, we're really into preparedness and trying to educate the public and citizens on what do you want to do during the winter season to be prepared in case you go somewhere or power outages, that kind of thing.
Mm-hmm.
And so we're here today to promote our Ready Navajo County notification system.
Great. Well, thank you, Mary. We're glad that you're here today.
Thank you.
And today we have a new face. We have Eric Oscarson. He's new to the county, and we're grateful to have him. And I'll give him a chance to kind of introduce, what is it that you do for the county, and a little bit of your background, your family, and
Sure.
Where you came from, and all those things.
Sure.
Give the community the scoop.
Sounds good. Well, thank you for having me. Again, my name is Eric Oscarson. I am the new Public Works Director for Navajo County. I come to Navajo County from the Chicagoland area. My background is public works. I've worked in all aspects of public works, from community levels at the municipal level up to now the county level. My background is especially in snow removal and snow and ice removal. We moved to the area, currently live in Sholo, have been in the area for about 12 weeks now, have 5 kids. So it was a big move for us. So I'm excited to be here and excited to take on the new role with Navajo County.
Great. Well, we're glad to have you. And I know Eric is already hard at work, meeting several initiatives, but I received an email yesterday morning, I think it was at 3 a.m., talking about snow removal and that people are already out on the roads and getting the community ready. So
Yes.
Yesterday was our first snowfall, so it was good to see that. So
Yes.
Thank you.
Thank you.
We'll start with Mary. And Mary, if you can tell us a little bit about the new initiative and how people can get the information with Ready Navajo County.
Sure, thank you. Ready Navajo County is a mass notification system. The county is using it in case of emergencies, and we've already had a few. We had a power outage in the Timberland Acres area, and we notified residents that the power was out. Navapache contacted us. We let them know that it was going to be out all day. So it's a nice tool for us to communicate with the public, letting them know if there are emergencies, because what they want to know is what's going on, how does it affect my family, what do I need to do, is there any instruction, and when is things going to get back to normal. So this Ready Navajo County product, if people would like to go to self-register, they can go to the Navajo County website, www.navajocountyaz.gov, and click on the Ready Navajo County link. And that's how they can go and register for the mass notification system, or they can contact us directly. Katrina Jenkins and I can go ahead and sign up residents.
Mm-hmm. Great, and I know that we'll have that information up on the screen, and we'll have that on our websites. And
Yes.
So if people didn't get that website, you can get that information. But I've certainly, we had a drill in a sense where you sent out the notification on Earthquake Day and Earthquake Preparedness, I think it was.
Yes.
And so you could kind of see how it works, but we've seen it for other areas. And one of the things that I guess that should be shared, Navajo County is pretty broad, and our land space extends all the way from the White Mountain Apache tribe to the outer edge of the Navajo Nation. And so we have lots of people and probably lots of emergencies. And so an individual wouldn't receive notification for the entire Navajo County, in the sense that if there was an emergency on the Navajo Nation or the White Mountain Apache tribe, and it's specific to their area or their region. And so those are some of the people have been asking about those things, so I think that's a great tool for us to be able to utilize in reaching out to our community members.
Well, not only that, a lot of people these days do not have landlines. Most people have cell phones.
Yeah.
And that's a way that we can communicate either by text or cell phone. And it can be area specific or it could be countywide, depending on what the emergency is.
Mm-hmm. Well, thank you. And we're grateful for the work that you and others have put into that and ensuring that we have a way to, I guess, best communicate with the public when there's an emergency or they need to act or maybe they need to look for someone or whatever it might be, whatever the emergency is. So we're grateful for the work that you have done in making sure that we have that tool.
Thank you.
How does that connect with winter storms, Mr. Eric Oscarson? I'm sorry.
No worries. When the winter storms, we know there's a winter storm coming or we have a major event coming. Obviously, Ready Navajo County will, can send out mass notification if there's, a major storm coming. For us, we're prepared. So when we know a storm's on its way, we'll prepare our crews. The county will go out and start clearing our roads. We maintain our county roads. ADOT maintains all the state highways, and then the cities and towns maintain their roads. So we go out and start preparing, making sure that we're ready to handle plowing and cindering those roads when a storm's coming. We usually start at 4 inches, so anything 4 inches or greater, the county will start maintaining the roads. So that includes, again, blading or plowing roads, and then cindering roads. We do start at priority roads. So those are school bus routes and our main arterial roads throughout the community. And then we continue, we clear those first, again, for the school bus routes and emergency vehicles to gain access. And then we move on to the secondary roads. And then finally, our last stop is what would be considered residential primitive roads. Those are the last we go ahead and start clearing. So we work our way through that progression.
And I think one of the things that, is of interest to the public is that, certainly you brought it up that there are many roads that are maintained by a variety of entities. And so one of the things that we do as a county is provide opportunity for those partners to come together with the White Mountain Regional Transportation Committee and talk about what each organization is doing. And in the event that maybe an organization can't meet that particular need, how do we begin to collaborate and utilize our tools and skills together? So I think that's a great, it talks about the community and it talks about our care for the public and ensuring that people are able to get from point A to point B. And that's important to us, but also safety, public safety is certainly of most concern. And when we talk about this, one of the things that we didn't, start with, and I know there's lots of commotion and we hope that it comes to fruition, is El Nino. And Mary has spent a lot of time in the community talking about that. So can you just give us a brief summary of what that might look like for us?
Well, I think most people are starting to see El Nino. What that really means is it's going to be a wetter winter. And according to the Weather Service, and I'm not the Weather Service, but according to them, they are not really sure if it's going to be rain or snow. They don't have an indicator one way or the other, but the indicator with El Nino is it is going to be wetter. And it's going to be wetter through the whole winter season. So like you said, hopefully we're going to get lots of snow. I would hope we don't get it all in one weekend like we did back in 2010, but if we have lots of snow up here, that would be great for everybody.
I certainly agree. So I hope it doesn't leave us out of the loop. So when we talk about preparing roads, what does that look like? So if someone goes out and starts to, the snow has fallen 4 inches, so what would happen?
The county's step is we call in our crews. Our crews are ready. We have our plow trucks and our cinder trucks are ready to go. We have stockpiles of cinder across the county out of our 3 road yards. So our crews go out and they begin to remove snow on the main roads. On our main arterial roads, our school bus routes, we hit up all those roads first. We remove them to make them passable. We then continue to do that on the secondary and tertiary roads. After the storm, or as we move on, we start to do what is called a cleanup. We start pushing back corners, we start pushing back the windrows off the main roadway, and do cleanup of windrows or drifts along driveways. But again, our main focus is to keep the roads open, and then within 48 to 72 hours after a snowstorm, we continue a cleanup. And this goes on 24 hours a day. Crews are available 24 hours a day. So we're continually rotating crews in if we have a long duration storm until we have everything cleaned up and moved off.
So what do you think the estimated miles are that you might, I guess, treat in a given day?
Normally, in a given storm, it's between 400 to 500 miles of roadway throughout the county that we maintain. So if we have a full-fledged storm and we are going to be clearing all those roads, it's between 400 to 500 miles initially, up to the complete. We maintain over 700 miles of road. But that initial hit will be on that 400 to 500 miles of main roads, and then eventually we do clearing of over 700 miles of roads. So it's a lot of roads, a lot of manpower, and a lot of time.
It is. You know, when you think of that, and what is a round trip from here to the valley, that's essentially about 400 miles in a sense. So, you know, that speaks to why I guess I received an email at 3 o'clock in the morning. You know, you got to start pretty early to maintain those roads.
Right.
In the notes that I was reading, one of the concerns I know are like for residential areas, the snow berms. Do you want to talk a little bit about that?
Sure. So the priority for the county is to clear the roads, you know, and the berms and the windrows that we leave will block driveways. And there's concern from residents of how we maintain those. We will come back 48 to 72 hours after the end of the snowstorm and to help alleviate those berms. We do not remove snow from private driveways or private areas, but within our right-of-way, if we leave a berm on a driveway, we will come back within 48 to 72 hours after the end of a snowstorm to help residents remove them. Sometimes they can become quite large at the end of a driveway. So we do try to help the residents after the fact. But again, our priority at first is to clear the roads for the school buses for emergency purposes. And then we will move on to the berm removal after a snowstorm.
So say that we know that a storm is coming. What can residential people or community members do in order to help you do your job?
From a snowplowing perspective, we would ask for them to remove vehicles from the roadway or the right-of-ways. That not only helps the plowing, but it also helps other drivers. Leaving vehicles in those spots, if you have slippery getting up slopes, it's another obstacle for them to get around, and sometimes vehicles get stuck. So having them remove those vehicles from the right-of-way, pulling them up farther on driveways, will allow the snowplow drivers to make a clear pass of the road and do the best job they can to remove it. A lot of times, if vehicles get stuck or they park on the street or the right-of-way, our plow drivers can't even make it through, so they have to turn around and go back, and so we can't complete our job or we have to come around from the other side if vehicles are parked on the right-of-way or within the roadway. So that's a big thing we ask residents to do, is to make sure if they know there's an incoming storm, to prepare just as much as we would prepare for them to prepare and move their vehicles into an area that won't impede us from completing the snow plowing.
Well, we appreciate that, you know, and one, communicating with the public so that they know that they can help us to do our job more effectively, and how they can be prepared. Mary, in talking about the preparedness, this earpiece, just to let you know, keeps falling out. But when we talk about preparedness, what would that look like outside of the road? So we know that a storm might be coming. How could an individual prepare for that?
Well, a couple ways. First, Ready Navajo County. If residents and citizens sign up for that, they're assured at getting information if something severe does happen and there is an emergency. So that's really the first thing. Second thing is, I would say they need to make sure they and their families are prepared by having plenty of food in the house, plenty of water, takes a gallon per person per day. Be prepared in that way, so if your power goes out or you have problems in a winter storm, you don't have to get out on the roadways and be in the middle of a bad storm. Another thing I would suggest, if anybody is going anywhere, especially over the holidays, that they pack a go kit. Make sure they have their medicines, baby formula, diapers, flashlights, batteries, that kind of stuff, and let somebody know where you're going and when you're expected back. That's key to making sure that you go have a great time and come back safely.
And I think, you know, one of the things that I do, and it's interesting to me because I learned this from my husband in a sense, and I actually learned something from him, so this is public information now. But, you know, the preparedness factor, if it's snowing and it's snowing in the morning and maybe there isn't a lot of snow, but by the end of the day you could have a significant falling. So I make sure my car tank of gas is full. And if it's, you know, even if I have half a tank, that I make sure that it's full. You don't know if you're going to be on the side of the road or what, you know, what the circumstances might be. And any given day, this is probably what I'm dressed like. I'm headed to a meeting or whatever it might be. So I make sure to pack my snow boots and my snow jacket and all of those other things that are needed, because you don't know what the weather is like. And Mother Nature gets to decide that, and often we don't get to decide. Right. And we hope that, you know, everybody is safe on the roads, and that people are paying attention. And often, you know, we don't have control over accidents, so that preparedness factor is really important. So are there any other tips that we should be giving residents in order to prepare for the snow? We hope it's a snow season, but it could be a rain season. And if it's a rain season, you know, that looks a little different, but we certainly hope that we can help residents feel a little more comfortable in knowing that we are being prepared and thinking about what that looks like. Any other tips?
Well, I think, like I said, stock up. You know, it's okay to have extra stuff during winter, canned goods, water, that kind of stuff. And also make sure that you have plenty of firewood, your propane is full, and make sure that you're set up for success during the winter time.
That's very true, and make sure you have those extra treats and cookies and all the things you love to have.
Right.
From a public works standpoint in the snow plowing, it's again to remember to try to remove your vehicles from the streets, and remember that we do remove snow on a priority base. It's based on traffic volume in the main streets, and then we move our way through those to the secondary and then the primitive streets. So we will get there. We will plow every street. We will cinder the roads as needed. But just to be patient with the larger snowstorms, it will take us time to work through the different areas, but we will get there and understand that there's a priority for doing that.
Great. And you know, in looking at the priorities, certainly getting buses through so people can get, or if it's emergency personnel, those kinds of things. So we're grateful for that work. Do either of you ski?
No, but I like to play in the snow.
Yeah, that's good.
I do ski.
You do ski.
Yes.
Does your family ski?
The family will learn to ski.
Yeah.
At Sunrise Mountain.
That's great. We hope that, you know, this will bring some great significant weather or storming to the mountain. It's so important to our community. So, and we hope to see you guys skiing, and we'll have to give you a little push down the hill, Mary. Yeah. And it's been a bit since I have too, so I need to get up on the mountain and, you know, take some turns down the mountain. So, but thank you so much for joining me today. We appreciate it. And we hope that all of you got something out of our report today on the weather. And we hope that the weather does decide to join us in the next couple months, because it's important to our community. And we hope that you go out and enjoy it. Have a great month, and we'll see you next month.